Hi guys, Aka here. So, we want to take a look at Charles VI, the latest range general to be added to the game. And you might be sitting there wondering, hey Aka, didn't we have a Charles already? Yes, we had Charles the 12th, okay? The range general that was in the game. But now we have the 6th. So we have half the fun. Isn't it supposed to be double? Like, isn't 12 supposed to be better than 6? I don't know, I'm getting confused. Anyway, we have Charles the 6th, and he's definitely better than the 12th. So, we want to take a look at the 6th, see how well he does, and see how he stacks up against all the other top hitters in the game. So, let's jump right in. So, we've got Charles the 6th here, and when we look at his main skill, he gets 55% attack, 40% defense, and 55% HP. And he's a when leading the army to attack general, okay? Pure attacking general. Righto. Now, we look at his specialties. And by the time we put everything in his specialties together, Charles VI comes out with 75% attack, 60% defense, and 60% HP. Okay, now we go and look at his ascension. And by the time we put all the stats in his ascension together, Charles VI comes out with 80% attack, 90% defense, and 70% HP. Alrighty. Now, by the time we put all of his stats together, the 6th comes out with a total of 210% attack, 190% defense, and 185% HP. Those are great stats. Those are very good looking stats, okay? So, let's go ahead and compare him to some of the other top generals that we have. But before we do that though, just want to let you guys know that the PSC community is back at it again. There's another giveaway that is running. This time, 2 winners stand the chance of getting $750 each. So, if you'd be interested in trying your luck and jumping in for the giveaway, I've got the link down in the description of this video. It's free to join, no commitment, no hassle. Get in, sign up for the giveaway, and keep your fingers crossed. But do it quick because this giveaway is going to be ending very soon. Okay, so these are the generals that we're going to be comparing Charles VI with, right? And here are their stats. Now, we can see that with the exception of Hatshepsut, Charles VI is doing very well on the attack, okay? And it's a completely different story when you're looking at the defense and the HP, right? He's blowing out all the other guys with the defense and the HP, okay? That's great, good stuff. Of course, we know that for range generals, range attack is the most important stat that we're looking at. But that's not to say that defense and HP are not important, okay? They are. So he's doing very well on the stats. Now, let's go ahead and look at their march sizes, right? Because march size is an important factor for these generals. So here are the march sizes of the generals. And as we can see, all right, Charles VI, not bad, okay? Not particularly hot stuff when it comes to the march size. Not bad though. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, you know, you look at Algernon and you look at Hatshepsut. Yeah, okay, he's not doing too great on there. But for like other regular range generals, he's doing okay. All right, 18% is not bad on that front. So that's how Charles stacks up against the top guys. But let's carry on and let's take a look at his covenant. Right, so we have his covenant here, and these are the generals that he needs for his covenant. Okay, and in my opinion, yeah, not bad. Like, these are pretty doable generals to get. So in that sense, covenant generals, he doesn't have a problem. Now, we look at his covenant, the stats in there, okay? He's got 8% at the bottom. We factor that in. And we look at everything else, all right? Notable things are he's got decent attacking stats in there, okay? When you add everything up in the right situations, that's plus 30% that you'll be getting for range attack in here. The gold stat, nothing particularly exciting. So all in all, yeah, it's an okay covenant. Right, now we want to go ahead and look at his compatibility. And as usual, the first thing that we're going to look at is compatibility with skill books. So we have the 6th here, and we take a look at the skill books. Okay, so for ranged attack, he's good on range attack. Let's look for range defense. Range defense is good. We check for HP. HP is good. Finally, we look at march size. March size is good. So Charles VI can take all the range books that we have in the game. Now, we want to go and check his compatibility with other generals. Okay, so as usual, we head over to the wall. Right, there we go. And we've got all these citizens lining up here. Okay. All right, so we've got Charles here. And the first general that we want to check him with is Marcus. Okay, so Charles and Marcus are compatible. Good stuff. Next, we move on to James Cook. Okay, so Charles and Cook are compatible. Nice one. We check with Algernon Sidney. Charles and Algernon are compatible. Okay, good stuff. We check with Merlin. Unfortunately, Charles and Merlin are a no-go. Okay, this does not work. We check out Charles and Hatshepsut, and unfortunately, this combination does not work either. Finally, we have a look at Charles and Gonzalo. This combination does work. Okay, so from what we have seen so far, I'll say Charles has fairly okay compatibility, although it does seem like there are quite a few generals that he doesn't go with. So I'd advise that, when you're looking at your options, make sure you check the compatibility, because it clearly doesn't look like he's going to be compatible with all of the range generals that we have. So, as usual, if you know of any generals that Charles goes with or doesn't go with, please feel free to drop a comment down below. It's always welcome and always appreciated. Right, so now we want to take a look at Charles VI as the assistant. All right, so here we have the range generals as assistants. And as we can see, Charles VI from the stats, all right, he's okay. Stat-wise, he is doing good, but not as much as the stats from when you're using him as the main general would imply. So that largely means that he does get a ton of buffs from his ascension. So, okay, as an assistant, stats-wise, yeah, he's all right. March size, though, is a bit of a problem. As you can see, he only gets 8% march size here. And when you compare to the other generals that we have, for the generals that we're looking at right now, 8% is, it's not quite cutting it in my opinion. Now, after taking a look at Charles VI, I think the verdict on him is that he's okay. All right? He's okay. I will be honest though, because Charles VI is coming on the heels of K50 update. So I'm looking at him with those kind of like biased eyes. All right? Under normal circumstances, I would have said that, he's an okay general, would have probably given him like an A rating. But in all honesty, with what we have going on in the game now, I'm not particularly thrilled about this general. Yeah, maybe that might sound unfair. Maybe I'm not giving Charles a fair break and things like that. But yeah, that's just how it feels right now. Okay, you have a general that is coming out, decent buffs, very good buffs, but not particularly great march size. I mean, with everything that we have going on now, why is Evony bringing out a general like this? Some people are arguing that maybe Evony is making a push for generals with incredibly high buffs, but not particularly great march size. And that's because with the drop of K50, maybe having that extra march size is not as important as it was before. Which, I guess maybe is a fair point. I mean, we're looking at K48s now with almost 12 million march size. So having an extra 5 or 6%, how much of a difference does that make? The whole thing with Charles VI, I personally am not particularly thrilled about it. He is an okay general, okay? If you don't have any of the top generals and you want to get one now, and you're looking at Charles VI, yeah, he's a good option. You can go and get him. If you're not too sure, maybe save your tokens and wait until somebody outstandingly better comes around. Which might be a while since we just recently had Hatshepsut and Amos. But with Evony, you never know. Now, on this whole topic of march size and whether it's important or not, this is actually a topic I've covered in depth in a previous video. Here is the video right now. So if you're looking at this day and age of K50 and whether march size is still going to be important, check out the video, see the rationale that we have there, and see if it still applies in this particular time. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Aka signing out.